is our Frontier opening bell for this Wednesday, the 16th of August. Quite a whole lot to digest. But first, let's get through the Nigerian market down by more than 140 billion naira on Tuesday, the second trading day, as we saw the market took a dive. The PRVM down up by 0.25%. The Nigerian market was down on Tuesday. That was the market was really choppy. The PRVM was around 0.25%. That was on Monday. There was no new data available for the markets for the day in Cote d'Ivoire. The Egyptian market went up 0.38%, 17,965 in Cairo. The Nairobi stock market down by roughly 0.5%, and the GSE fell by 0.75% in line with the rest of the emerging markets, which are a bit choppy on Tuesday as well. But let's get out of the market. Quite a whole lot to digest. No one is sure where things are going right now as far as fuel subsidy is concerned. In Kenya, reporting this morning, the EPRA reporting that what's been reversed is the stabilization, what's been removed to the stabilization and not a return to fuel subsidy. You can read it all up. It's online. Just as we see the President Ruto's heading to his first anniversary in office as the president of Kenya. In the meantime, the Bank of Uganda cut its key lending rate to 9.5% from 10% as country's core inflation looking at about 3.8%. The central bank in Ethiopia has limited commercial banks lending to 14% because of the country's high level of inflation. And MTN is setting about $64 million in Rwanda and Ugandan markets, while Rwanda's consumer price growth down to 11.9% for the month under review. That was July. Just a few headlines for you from the East Coast. Let's get on to look at West Africa, where Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also battling whether to do a temporary return of fuel subsidy because crude oil prices strongly higher. The London Brent traded around $84 a barrel on Tuesday, as well as a very weak currency exchange rate for the Naira. All that in play as we speak, with news coming through that petrol prices are likely to go up. So the government says it's not going to see petrol prices higher. The labor union says they're going back for an indefinite strike if nothing is done, while petrol marketers says petrol prices and diesel prices are set to go higher. Nigeria is looking at roughly 1,000 naira in exchange for $1 a dollar. Part of the scrambling that the Tinubu's administration is doing, less than 100 days in office, is to sell some key government assets. How much that will fetch? President Buhari spent 8 years in office without doing anything meaningful around the sale of state-owned enterprises. Now it looks like President Tinubu will have to do something very quickly to bring in much needed liquidity into the central bank to continue to support the exchange rate right now. And July inflation came in at 24.08% for the month of July yesterday. Of course, the food inflation is to be blamed for that. That is the biggest chunk of the basket of Nigeria's CPI. Petrol prices is going higher from today in Ghana. That's next door neighbor. And Gabon is close the first debt for nature swap in Africa. That's $500 million. Congratulations. That was done just a few weeks ago. And Chad is looking at about 20 billion CFA from investors within the CEMAC region. But I'm going to take it down to Southern Africa, with South African official jobless rate down to 32.6% in the second quarter against 32.9% in the first quarter. The news came in through from the Statistics Office yesterday. Absa Group reporting first half ending June home loans bad debt provisioning up 260%. Despite that, the banking group made a profit of about $560 million. And MTN says it's not just selling a minority stake to MasterCard. It wants about 2 or 3 other investors to pitch into its fintech business worth about $5.2 billion. And that's according to Ralph Mupita, the CEO of the MTN Group, listed on the GSE and a few African markets, including Nigeria, by the way. Liquid Intelligent Technology says it's launched the Gaborone Metro Ring, which is supporting tech infrastructure in Botswana. And finally, in South Africa, Invictus is set for second oil and gas test drilling in Zimbabwe. Those are your headlines from Southern Africa. Let's get into the North Africa space. I look at Egypt floating a dollar-based pension plan for expatriates in the country. The whole idea by this is to get dollar inflow from expatriates who earn in foreign currency as Egypt sees a further devaluation of the pound and shortage of foreign currencies. Morocco has finally submitted an application to join the BRICS community. August 22nd is the start of that conference in Johannesburg. Belton Financial Holdings has raised capital nearly 1,000% on the Morocco stock market. That's the Casablanca exchange, by the way. And Algeria is relying on Russia's wheat more than ever before. And that's the news. While Egypt and Jordan trade exchange was around $980 million in the full year 2022, January to December. And those are your headlines.